find our seat. Sit up nice and tall. Take up a little space. Slowly and gently move from the stimulation of the outside world. These days, there's plenty of stimulation in the outside world. So let's take this time to remind our body and our mind and our nervous system and our hearts that we can always go inside. We can go inside to our breath. We can go inside to find the peace, calm, centering. Let's just start to give ourselves permission to do that now. So letting the breath ground you. Letting the breath bring your awareness away from wherever it might be. Back into the ease and flow, and the simplicity as well as the complexity of. You might begin by just feeling it. You might choose to use the breath to manage how you're feeling. So deepening and lengthening the breath, especially the exhale if you're feeling a little rattled or anxious or scattered. As you inhale, let the belly expand. And as you exhale, just let the belly melt back towards the spine. A few mindful breaths. Just noticing over the next few breaths, just noticing if there's any distractions, any gripping, anything that's happening on any of the levels of the physical body, the mental body, the emotional body, or the spiritual body. Take a few moments without you talking so you can just be with what is and give yourself a little extra compassion or whatever surfaces. Rooted in your breath. Begin to give the body some permission to let go. And just part the back teeth and the lips. Let's join the palms together in front of the heart. And take a nice cleansing breath together. Big full inhale. Big audible releasing exhale. Release the hands to the knees or the thighs as you feel ready. Let the elbows have a little bend, just relaxing the arms. Move through a little cat-cow, opening up the front body. And exhaling, rounding off the back body. Let this movement organically grow, if that speaks to you. Just tune inward to the sensations as you gently flow from shape to shape. Really embracing the transitions. Make it through 2 more full rounds. Let yourself dive in maybe a little deeper if that feels good to you. Next time you inhale, bring yourself to a neutral spine with the shoulders rolled back and the head onto a neutral place. Take a nice big breath in and a big breath out. Just gently let the right ear melt towards the right shoulder. Like a little gentle movement, maybe it's gentle rock. You explore some of the sensations on that side. Of course, if something doesn't feel good or right, don't do it, or better yet, explore and see if there's another way that you can do it. Maybe not going so deep, giving ourselves permission to not push to the absolute limits, but find an experience that works for you in this moment. Let's take the left hand out to the side and just gently wave it around from front to back, palm up, palm down. Keep that right ear melting towards the right shoulder. If you want to find some movement with the head, you can. Of course, honor what you experience. And any sensations, you might pause and just take a nice full breath. When you're ready, relaxing the hand onto the knee or thigh, and then taking a breath in, and as you exhale, pull the tummy in, lengthen up through the spine, and bring the head back up through the center. Take a nice full breath in and out. Notice what you notice, new sensations. And very gently, as you're ready, exhaling, left ear melts down to the left shoulder. Notice what there is for you there, and invite a little movement in if that calls to you. And maybe that right arm comes out to the side and move it around a bit. Soften the jaw. And with the exploration, and gently releasing the hand back to the near thigh, and taking a big inhale, and as you exhale, pull the tummy in, let that lift the heart, let that lift the head. Roll the shoulders up and back and melt them down. We're going to crisscross the legs the opposite direction. And reach the arms out and up. Big breath in, just take it to the place that feels okay for you. You might clasp hands up top if that feels doable, otherwise find more of a wide V. Take the shoulders, drop them down, let there be space. And then reach, lengthen up through the side body, and we're just going to hinge over to one side. So if your arms or hands are not together, that's fine. Just keep reaching up and out, fingertips. Really ground down through that left hip. Another breath. And then inhale, lift up. And we'll go to the other side. Stay rooted in the hips. Try to keep shoulders out of the ears. And taking another full breath here. And inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, it's time cactus arms, squeeze shoulder blades together, show me your palms, energize your fingertips. Open the heart. And re-inhale, reach the fingers up. Exhale, float the hands down by your side. Feel some of that warmth. Reconnect to the breath. And we'll send the legs straight out in front. Flex the feet. Really ground down through the heels, so much so that you might get a little bend in the knees. Pull the tummy in, lengthen up through the spine. Really pressing energy out the heels, toes are pulling up towards the ceiling. Wiggle the toes a little bit, and we'll find some circles with the ankles. Really go inward and feel how this simple movement might travel throughout the foot or up the leg. Just notice. Let those circles be as big as possible. And then pause and go in the other direction. And pause, ground down through the heels, tummy in, heart lifts, shoulders back. You can take your hands by your side for Dandasana. Root down through the thighs, up through the crown of the head. Everything's a little bit energized here. Another breath. Just bend your left knee. Bring the foot in as close to the hip as doable for you today. Lengthen up through the spine. Right hand wraps around that knee. Left arm is going to shoot up towards the ceiling and then towards the back wall, opening up into a twist. Let the fingertips touch the floor. Keep that left shoulder rolling open. Lengthen through the spine. Keep the right foot flexed and energized. And gently pull the knee across the midline. You can always give that knee a hug, or if you choose to take the elbow to the outside, that's fine, but be mindful of this shoulder. It often will really curl in, and I'd rather have the heart open, which is why I prefer to take the hand around the leg. But if you have a really deep twist, then that might be a different story for you. Lengthen up through the spine, and then exhale, look behind you. Nice full breath or two here. Big inhale. And as you exhale, slowly unraveling back through center. Just allow that bent knee to drop down to the side. Sole is towards the inner thigh or the inner calf, whatever's doable for you today. And then take that right hip and pull it back. Might have to play with the flesh to allow that to happen, but we want our hip points facing forward towards our foot, not out to the side. Lengthen up through the spine. Hands can go behind you if you'd like for starters, or maybe even to choose to stay there. Shoulders might squeeze together behind you, lifting the heart. Flex that foot. And then you can choose to take the hands forward. But again, pull the floor towards you. Lengthen up through the spine so you feel the tailbone reaching behind you. It's kind of that sensation of sticking your butt out a little bit. Shoulders back, and then you might start to walk the fingertips forward. Just let yourself come in easy. Take a few breaths. And you might choose to come in a little deeper. Take a few breaths. You might continue to go deeper or stay where you are. Let the breath feed the whole body. Full inhale, full exhale. Grounding down through the hands, low tummy pulls in as we start to lift and lengthen. Roll the shoulders when you arrive. And take that left foot, lift it and cross it over the midline, seal the thighs. Start to walk that heel as close to the opposite hip as you can get it. And I often like to lift that leg and kind of pull the leg up and over the other as best I can. And then working the knees towards stacking. The bottom hip, both hips are grounded. So you can stay just like this, or that bottom leg, that's what I was trying to say, the bottom leg can bend if that is doable for you with both sitting bones staying on the ground. So if that doesn't feel like it's working for you today, keep that bottom leg straight. It's absolutely okay. You can keep the hands on the feet. If you don't feel any action in the outer hip or anywhere for that matter, then you can take the feet further out and forward. That's going to make this a little more intense. Just be really mindful when you do that because you don't want to hurt the knees. So listen to your body. Hands can stay up, or you can start to hinge forward to get in a little deeper, and we'll just take a few good breaths here. For me, this can be quite intense, so really connecting to the exhale, trying to keep shoulders out of the ears. Feel free to drop in deeper if that feels right to you, or stay up high. If there's gripping, because the glutes love to grip here, keep reminding them that they can release, and that might be a reminder you need to do every moment. Really connect to the exhale and notice if gripping is released a bit. Let's take one more big breath in. Big breath out. Ground through the hands, tummy pulls in. We start to lift up if you fold it forward. And let's take the hands behind you, lean back to release the legs. And take them out in front of you and just take a moment to feel that lingering experience. Reconnect to your breath. You might windshield wiper the legs a little bit from the hips. Feel free to bend them and find a deeper windshield wiper all the way into the hips. We'll straighten the legs again, come back to Dandasana, pull everything in and up, lengthen up. Reconnect to your breath, flex the feet, press energy out the heels, up the crown of the head, the heart open. Big inhale, big exhale. Please bend your right knee, this to the floor. Left hand wraps around the right knee or grab hold of the knee and then reach that right arm up and open up into your twist. Let that back shoulder roll open so the heart is shining to the side. Flex your left foot. Do your breaths here. Soften the jaw. Big inhale, big exhale. Full breath in. And as you exhale, slowly unravel, coming back through center. When you arrive, take a nice cleansing breath to the straight spine. And we'll release the right knee down. Once you do that, let's take that left hip back. Flex your left foot. Lengthen up through the spine. Hands can come behind you. Feel free to stay there or start to hinge forward. Take it nice and slow. Give yourself time to breathe, especially before going as deep as possible. Just let yourself be where you are, breathe, and then the body will go in a little bit further, maybe. Explore, be curious to the sensations and the experience of the body receiving this posture. Full breath in, full breath out. Ground through the hands, low tummy pulls in as you slowly press the earth away. Coming all the way up, roll the shoulders when you arrive. And in your own time, we'll take that right foot, cross it over, seal the thighs. So pulling that heel close to the left hip, stacking the knees. You might pull some of the flesh around to make that happen. And make sure both sitting bones are on the floor or your prop. And then check in, see how this feels. Lengthen up through the spine. That's going to give you real insight. And then you might choose to bend that bottom leg. You might try it and change your mind. That's always okay. And then adjust yourself if you need to go a little deeper. Take the feet and bring them forward a bit carefully. Lengthening up through the spine. Choose where you want to be for the next few breaths, either here or finding a hinge, either now or in another breath. Soften the jaw, feel into the sensations. Walk hands forward if that speaks to you. Nice full breaths. Lots of reminders to release and let go. Full breath in, full breath out. Root the hands down, low tummy pulls in as we start to lift up. Shoulders roll back. If we take the hands behind you, lean back, gently release. Maybe find a little windshield wiper if that feels good. And just let the legs go straight out to the sides. Find a V, doesn't have to be wide. And if you take them out and you find yourself rounding into the low back and falling backwards, you might bring the feet in a little bit and see if that helps you to stay upright. Options to take the hands behind you, open the heart, clear your throat, clear my throat, excuse me. Flex your feet, toes point up. And then maybe you take the hands to the legs, slide the hands down as you hinge forward. Lengthen the spine, shoulders out of the ears. Taking a few breaths here. You can also take the hands forward and stretch the fingertips as far forward as they'll go. Tuck the chin. Just full breaths. Keep those toes pulling up towards the ceiling. Press energy out the heels. One more big inhale, big exhale. Pressing hands down. While the tummy pulls in, slowly lift yourself up wherever you are. Once you come upright, roll the shoulders. Take the hands by your side. And bend the knees. You might hope the knees bend. If you're sitting on something, you might move it aside just to make this next posture a little more accessible. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. I don't know why I have this frog in my throat this morning. Lengthen up through the spine. We're going to take the feet hip distance, take the arms inside the legs, and then lift the toes and grab the outsides of the feet, or grab the big toe, or grab the ankles. Wherever you can reach, it's fine. And then walk those heels in a little bit. Lengthen up through the spine. Take the shoulders back. See if you can, crown of the head can lift a little more. Then you might lean back, lifting one foot. Lean back, lifting the other. Try not to fall into the rounded low back. Keep that heart lifted. Yep, you know where we're going, Susie. Go ahead and straighten the legs if you choose, maybe one leg at a time and play with it a little bit. Maybe both legs. Really flex the feet, let energy come out the heels. Maybe open up a little more if that feels right to you. Open the heart. Take another 2 breaths. Find your drishti. You fall over, no big deal. You're on the floor already. And then let's bring those legs, if they are straight or towards straight, bring them together, nice and slow. Your core. Keeping them together, whether they're straight or bent. We're going to release the hands and bring your hands to heart center. Keep that heart lifted, keep the feet lifted if you can, or bring them down. You can always bring the heels down as well. Take another breath, keep squeezing and lifting. Good. And then we'll place the feet to the floor, lift the fingertips to the sky, sit them nice and tall. And then we're going to come down onto our back, so roll down nice and slow. Excuse me, my goodness. When you get down to the floor, just bring your knees in, give yourself a hug and a rock and roll. Place your left foot to the floor with a bent knee. Right leg goes straight up towards the sky. Take the hands around your right thigh. Pull that leg in towards your chest just a little bit. Take a nice full breath in, full breath out. Left leg might straighten. You can let it float above the floor, a little more action, or let the leg rest to the floor. Pull the tummy in, keep that low back pressing towards the floor, flex your feet. Let's release the hands. We're going to take the palms together and reach them to the right side of your leg. Lift the head and heart, reaching the fingertips towards the front edge of your mat. Another breath. Go ahead and release the head and heart. And then take those fingertips to the left side of that leg. Lift, lift, lift. Good. And then release, and go ahead and bring both knees into your chest. Give yourself a little hug and a little rock and roll. Right foot to the floor with bent knee, left leg straight up towards the ceiling. Hands around that left thigh. Pull the knee in towards your chest. Keep pressing energy out the heel. Take a nice full breath. Extending your right leg perhaps, straightening it to the floor or letting it hover. Squeezing thighs towards each other so those hips stay nice and squared to the front edge of the mat. We'll release the hands, palm to palm. Reach the fingertips towards the front edge of the mat. So straightening the arms with the hands to the left of your leg and lift the head and heart. Reaching those fingertips forward. Take another breath. Lift a little more, maybe. Release the head and heart. Bring the hands back through center. And we'll straighten those arms again, fingertips to the right of the lifted leg. And lift the head and heart. Another breath. And then release the head and heart, bend both knees. Give yourself a little rock and roll. Let's take the hands behind the thighs and roll from front to back. You might kick the legs in the air like you would on a swing, give you a little more momentum. And we're going to swing it all the way up to standing. So feel free to come up any way you can, but maybe give it a shot. You can use your hands on the floor or springboard yourself all the way up. And give yourself a big ta-da. Good. I wish I could hear all of you say ta-da. Release your hands down. Let's roll the shoulders back. Take a moment to settle into your Tadasana. Really feel the heels ground down. Feel the ball joints of the big toe and the little toe ground down. Lift all 10 toes. Lift your inner arches. Pull the inner thighs in and up. Shoulders back. Release your 10 toes to the floor or how many toes you have. And take a nice full breath in and out. I'm going to just hinge, that's probably not the right word. We're going to lean forward a little bit, putting your weight into the toes. And then lean back, putting your weight into your heels. Notice when you lean forward and back, the other muscles that kick in to make sure that you don't fall. Go nice and slow so you can really pay attention. Forward and back. Good. And then over to the side. Feel the connection of the feet to the floor. So be in your body enough to notice what's happening to prevent you from falling over. But then also just notice what's happening in the feet as they're gripping. You might find a circle. Good. If you found a circle, maybe go in the other direction. And then plant yourself in center. Take a nice big breath, stretch it tall. Maybe look up towards the ceiling if that feels safe for you, and exhale, forward fold. Let the knees have a little bend, release the head. Shake the head yes, shake the head no. Inhale, come up halfway, straight spine. Exhale, forward fold. Reverse swan dive, take it all the way up, and then exhale your hands to your heart. Inhale, sweep the arms up, big breath, and exhale, swan dive, forward fold, breath out. Begin to ground through your feet, send the tailbone up towards the ceiling, coming in a little bit deeper. Another breath. Let the chin tuck slightly so the back of the neck is long. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees, root both hands to the floor, and take lots of little steps back to find your way into downward facing dog. Roll the shoulders out of the ears, move the head around a little bit. Walk it out. Press through the hands, let the tailbone reach further back. Even check in with the ribs. Are they collapsing? Can you knit them in and pull in and up a bit? Nice full breath here. Begin to bend your knees just a little bit, and then come up on tippy toes, and then bend your knees a little more. Keep the hips pulling back. Taking another breath here. We gently, with strength, lower the knees to the floor. Stay nice and strong in the inner thighs. Uncurl the toes. Press back into child's pose. We'll just take 2 or 3 breaths here. Reach the fingertips long forward if that feels okay on your shoulders. And maybe roll from side to side on the eyebrow line. Inhale, come back up into tabletop. We're going to pivot on the left knee, taking the left foot behind you, and the right leg is going to straighten down to the bottom of the mat. So your right foot, left knee, and left hand are in one long line. That left foot is kind of behind you to help you balance. Right arm opens up to the ceiling. Keep the right foot grounded on the floor with the toes pointing in the same direction as your face and your heart. And then the right fingertips can reach towards the front of your mat with the bicep over the ear. Roll that shoulder open, look up towards the ceiling, if that feels safe. Take another breath here, big inhale, nice opening on the right side body. Big exhale. Grounding through the left hand and the left knee, we're gonna lift the right fingertips to the sky and the right foot parallel to the floor. Flex your right foot, let it hover. You can always keep it on the floor. Take another breath. Right knee is going to bend as the right elbow bends, and we reach them towards each other. They may not touch, and that's fine. Like looking like a half a frog. There you go. And then straighten the right leg and the right arm. Keep that foot flexed and energized, nice and strong. 2 more like that. Bend the knee, bend the elbow, squeeze them in towards each other. And then stretch them long. And 1 more, squeeze, and stretch them long. Very mindfully, we'll release the right hand, spiral back onto all fours. Try to press back into child's pose. Take 2 or 3 deep, full, releasing breaths. Inhale, make your way back to tabletop. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So lifting the right foot, pivoting on that right knee. Extend the left leg so it's in line with the right knee and the right foot. Flip the left hand into the sky. Ground through your grounded limbs. And then let the left arm reach towards the front of the room. Roll that shoulder open, opening the heart. Take a nice full breath here. And then reach the left fingertips to the ceiling. Reach the left foot up. Flex the foot. Find some strength here. And when you're ready, you might choose to bend the knee and the elbow, squeeze together, and then extend. 2 more, use your breath, squeeze and extend. Squeeze, little tap maybe, and extend. Very mindfully release the foot, spiral back around to tabletop. And let those knees go wide, hips back towards the heels. Nice full breath in and out. Ground through the hands. Big inhale, big exhale. Bring yourself back up to tabletop. Might walk the hands forward just a little bit, not even a hand's width. Shift the shoulders over the wrists. Curl the toes under. Squeeze the inner thighs, find your glutes and your core, and float the knees an inch above the floor. Start to lift the hips, start to melt the heels towards the floor, downward facing dog. Big breath in, big breath out. Inhale, come forward into plank. Feel free to lower the knees here. We'll lower down to the earth. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, release. Inhale, baby cobra. This time we'll float the hands. Squeezing, shoulder blades back, elbows back. Rooting hips and feet to the floor. Take another breath. And then exhale, release down. Curl the toes, press it all the way up, plank. And back into downward facing dog. Please extend your left leg behind you. Let's step it forward. Help it forward if it needs it, as always. Squeeze the inner thighs together, get your stability in your legs. Foundation is strong. Start to lift just a little bit, so you're not resting on that left thigh. Pull the left thigh back, and then float the hands, reach them back behind you. Ground down through the legs and lift all the way up, high lunge. Take a nice full breath. Really activate that back leg. Lift the inner thigh. Another breath here. Reach up and over to the left. Finally, release the left hand down. Continue to lengthen through the right fingertips. And then we'll inhale, lift up. And exhale, hands to the earth. Round down, step back, plank. Move through your vinyasa. Or just make your way into down dog. Taking a few good breaths there. Nice. Go ahead and extend the right leg behind. And then step it forward. Check in with your foundation. Really root down, pull that right hip back as you start to lift the fingertips off the ground. Try to lift the belly off of that right thigh, at least not putting all your weight into that right thigh. And then reach those arms back, and we float them up for a high lunge. Nice full breath here. Reach up and over, letting the left fingertips find some length, and you can release the right arm down. Another big inhale, big exhale. Inhale, float the fingertips up. Exhale, release them down to the ground. Step it back. Vinyasa, no vinyasa, you do you. Breathe and connect with whatever choices you make. Taking one more big inhale, big exhale. Left leg extends behind you. Keep those hips square, and then lift the heel a little bit more. Let's take the knee to the nose, pull in and up, and then extend the left leg behind you. Step it forward. Squeezing the inner thighs together. Taking another breath. We'll walk the hands forward as much as you can, find length. Ground through the left leg, ground through the fingertips, and float the right leg up. Square your hips, pull the tummy in, ground through that left foot. Flex the right foot. See if you can melt your head and heart to the left leg a little bit. Another breath here. Begin to bend your right knee, step the right foot to meet the left. Both knees have a little bend, release the head. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. And we reverse swan dive all the way up. Hands to the heart. Ground through the left leg. When you arrive, when you feel ready, lift that right knee. Make sure the right hip is not lifted in height. We want those hips even. Pull the tummy in, and then maybe straighten the right leg. And then maybe lift it a little bit more. And then let's release it down. Roll the shoulders, open the heart, big breath in. Big breath out. Float the arms to the sky with an inhale. Exhale through center, forward fold. Ground down with the hands, step back with the right leg. Back heel draws down. We've got warrior two legs. We're going to take the fingertips. We're not coming up. We're going to take the fingertips, walk them towards the front right corner of your mat. So the upper body is going to be like down dog. You're going to reach the fingertips as far forward as you can. Let the chin tuck, let the hips reach back, and try to keep those legs in down dog. Nice full breath here. Good. Bring the hands underneath the shoulders. Start to ground through the legs, bend that back knee, and then lift yourself up. Warrior two. Good. Taking a nice full breath in, full breath out. Flip the front palm, reverse it. Roll that shoulder open, open the heart to the ceiling. Come back to your warrior two, where we'll straighten that front leg. Pivot as far forward as you can. Triangle. Let yourself settle in. Of course, you've done this 100 times. Let's really find our beginner here. So ground through the feet. Squeeze the inner thighs. See if you can lift the torso a little bit to find more length from the hip to the armpit. Take the shoulders out of the ears. Let the elbows have a slight bend so you're not overextending them. Another breath. Staying strong in the body. We're going to float the upper body up. Keep the legs straight and reverse your triangle. Right hand to right thigh, left fingertips lift. Yeah. And we cartwheel down, back, front knee bends, back heel lifts. Step it back, squeeze into your plank. Stay here. Stay present. Keep squeezing. Good. If you'd like to move through your vinyasa, go for it. Otherwise, we'll meet you in downward facing dog. When you land, take a nice full breath in and out. Right leg's going to lift behind you. Square the hips. Lift that right heel a little bit more. Bring the knee to the nose, round forward. Send the right leg back, three-legged dog. And step it forward. Squeezing into your low lunge. Pull that right thigh and hip back. Lengthen through the spine. Reach the fingertips forward, as far forward as they'll go, straightening those arms. Good. We're still centered. Ground through the right leg and start to pull the left leg up, standing L. Go ahead and square your hips. Melt the head to the standing legs. Flex that left foot. Another breath here. Good. Bend the left knee, step the foot to meet the other foot, coming into your forward fold. Or you might clasp elbows, let the tailbone reach up. Release the elbows, inhale, come up halfway, straight spine. Exhale, forward fold. And then reverse swan dive all the way up. Hands to your heart. Get your feet on the earth. Take a nice full breath in, full breath out. Ground through your right leg. Lift your left knee. Flex the foot. The knees at 90 degrees. Make sure that left hip is not hiking up. You put your hands on your hips to check it out. And then you might choose to straighten that leg. Find your drishti here. Then you might lift that leg a little bit more. Try to keep lifted, not leaning back. Another breath. And then release the foot to the floor. Tadasana. Nice big inhale, big exhale. Little bend in the knees. We inhale, sweep the arms to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Hands root down. We step back with the left foot. Let the back heel draw down. Warrior two footing. Walk the fingertips to the top left corner of your mat or beyond. Arms are close to straight, ground through the feet, tuck the chin a little, find down dog in the upper body, warrior two in the bottom half of the body. Taking another breath here. Ground through your feet. Start to bring your hands under your shoulders. Lift yourself up, warrior two. Of course, adjust yourself if needed. Move over the front fingertips. Ground through all the corners of the feet. Squeeze the inner thighs, let the heart lift. Let some energy shine out the crown of the head. Flip the front palm, reverse it. Nice full breath here. Bring the arms parallel to the floor, straighten the front leg. Reach, reach, reach for triangle. See if you can be here like a beginner. Really embrace the shape. So don't just hang out with it. See if you can become it a little bit more. Stabilize with your breath. Power in the legs, ground down. Float the upper body up, keep the legs straight, reverse. And then we bend that front knee, cartwheel all the way down. Step it back, plank. Squeeze into your plank. Keep squeezing, you got this. Another breath. Move through your vinyasa if you'd like. From down dog, we'll come forward into plank. We're going to come into side plank. So if you'd like to drop your bottom knee, you can. We'll let the heels draw down to the left. You can take your feet one in front of the other. Right foot in front on the big toe edge, left foot on the little toe edge, or you can stack your feet. Left hand grounds down, right arm might float, might lift up. Keep those feet flexed, lots of energy, ground down. Open the heart, one more breath, lift the hips a little more. You got it. Mindfully release that right hand to the floor, come back into your plank, press it back, maybe child's pose, maybe down dog for 3 breaths.
We'll come back up into tabletop. Curl the toes, make your way to downward facing dog if you're not there already. Make your way forward into plank. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Again, the option to drop the right knee is welcome. Or let the heels draw down to your right. Maybe one foot stacks in front of the other. Maybe they stack on top. Maybe you come up onto the left fingertips. Maybe the left hand floats up. Wherever you are, lift the hips. Take another breath. Good, beautiful. Release the left hand, come back into plank, and then move either into down dog or child pose for 3 breaths. Beautiful. Big inhale. Big exhale. If you're not in down dog, feel free to make your way there. If you'd like to get a vinyasa in, feel free. When you feel ready, extend the left leg behind you. Step that left leg all the way forward. Help it forward if it needs it. We're going to walk the hands forward and kick that right leg up into the air again. If you have blocks, you might use them here. If you don't, it's fine. Lift and lengthen. Left hand grounds down, and maybe that right hand comes to the right hip. Maybe you stack the right hip over the left and open up for half moon. Keep that right foot flexed. Maybe the right arm floats to the ceiling, maybe not. You decide. So you can pit stop anywhere along the way. Lots of good options. Another breath. If you're in your half moon, maybe just like we did in the beginning, bend the knee, bend the elbow, and reach them towards each other for a little tap. And then extend. Maybe doing it 1 or 2 more times. And at any point that you feel done, come into your forward fold at the top of the mat. And to release mindfully, right arm comes down, square the hips, right foot meets left. Bend the knees, let the belly rest on the thighs. Maybe clasp the elbows, take a nice full breath in, full breath out. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. We're going to take the left foot behind the right. Take the left ankle behind the right ankle. So your left foot will be to the right of your right foot. Crossing the legs. Show you, I'm opposite you here because I'm not mirroring. And then melt the head and heart towards that front knee. Nice full breath here. Ground through the legs. You can get a little bend in those knees. Inhale, come up halfway. Reach the fingertips behind you. Squeeze those thighs together. And then lift all the way up. Big breath in. And as you exhale, release the legs. Tadasana. Big inhale. Big exhale. Feel what you feel. Hear what you hear. And remind yourself you are something special. Take a nice cleansing breath. Sweep the arms to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Ground through the hands. Just step back. Find your dog either through a vinyasa or not. Nice full breath in your down dog when you get there. And as you're ready, extending your right leg behind you. And stepping that foot forward. Walking the hands forward, grounding through that right leg, and sliding the left leg up to a standing out. You might put both hands on blocks here, or one hand, the right hand on a block. And then slowly lift the left hand, maybe. Left hand to left hip. Left hip on top of right hip, stacking the hips. Flex that left foot. Maybe the left arm extends. Staying in your half moon or any version that works for you today, and breathe. You can always extend a little deeper and bend the left knee, bend the left elbow, let them touch. And extend. If you do the little tap, you might do 2 more. At any point, you can come out of this and come into your forward fold. When you feel ready, left hand comes down. We mindfully square the hips. The left foot steps to the floor next to the right. And hang in your forward fold. Maybe bend the knees a little bit. Let the belly rest on the thighs. Let the head release. Nice full breath here. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. We'll take the right foot, take that right ankle, and cross it behind the left. Plant the feet flat to the floor. Let the knees have a slight bend. Belly rests to the thighs. Head melts to the knee. Ground down through those feet. Inhale, start to come up halfway. Sweep the arms behind you. Squeeze those inner thighs together. And then we float the fingertips all the way up to the sky, standing. Keep squeezing. Another breath. And then gently release. Roll the shoulders. Tadasana. Take a nice big breath in. Big breath out. Good. Feel the feet. Come back to what we did in the beginning. Grounding through all the corners of the feet. Swaying from side to side. Front to back. Feel into your body. And allow that movement to slow down into center. You get there. Take a nice big inhale. Big exhale. Sweep the arms to the sky. Gather all that you need. Look up towards the ceiling. Even find a little back bend if that feels good to you. And then exhale. We swan dive. Nice and mindfully forward fold. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Begin to walk the hands forward again, those straight arms up on fingertips. And then bend the knees, take the hips back. So it's almost like you're coming into chair in the upper body. Ground through the feet. Inner thighs are fired, glutes are fired. And then walk the fingertips forward a little more as you start to bend the knees more and let the hips slowly come down. Let the knees go wide, so you end up in more of like a malasana. You might even need to let the toes point out. And then lift the head, lift the heart. Maybe lift the palms to the heart center. Keep squeezing and lifting, one more breath. Very carefully and mindfully, take one hand behind you and up, asana. Good. Let's lower ourselves down one vertebra at a time. Stretch the legs long, stretch the arms long over the head if that feels okay for you. Otherwise, keep them wide or by your side. Take a nice big breath in and out. Point the toes, reach the fingertips. Bring the knees into the chest. A little roll from side to side. We're just going to let the knees float over to the left, finding a twist. If you like using props here, give yourself what you need. I know you all know your practices well enough. Palms face up, shoulders roll open. Knees should be at least as high as the hips so that you can bring that spiral into the full spine, not just the low back. Begin to welcome some mindful breaths. Full inhale, slow, soft exhale. Notice if there's gripping or holding, then you release. That includes the jaw and the tongue. You might notice other parts of the body letting go as you let those go. Amazing how the body is so connected. And on your next breath in, start to fire up your core. Bring the knees up through center, where you might rock and roll a little bit. Send a couple breaths to the straight spine. And when you feel ready, take it over to the other side. Knees floating to the right. Softening the body. Couple good breaths here. And this full breath in, start to fire up the core, lift the knees back through center. We'll rock and roll. And place the feet to the floor, knees bent, hands down by your side. Take a nice big breath in. Bigger breath out. Ground through all the corners of the feet. Ground through the arms and the hands. Feel the shoulders root down. Inhale, start to lift the hips, move through a little moving bridge. Lift those hips, squeezing inner thighs towards each other. And then exhale, lower down one vertebra at a time, using core strength to be nice and stable with your movements. Move through a few on your own. As you inhale, lift those hips, activating glutes to support the pelvis, thighs, energetically pulling towards each other so the top of the legs and the knees are nice and parallel to one another. They're not necessarily touching, they should be hip distance apart. Lowering down one vertebra at a time. You want to bring the arms in, feel free, arms to come up and over, the hips lift. And as you exhale, the hands come to the floor the same time the hips do. Let's do 2 more rounds. Next time your hips are on the earth, welcome a full breath in and out. And send the feet into the sky. You might find some circles with the ankle. It's like legs up the wall with an invisible wall, or waterfall without the block under you. Just take a couple belly breaths here. Let the legs just dangle. You can always bend the knees if that feels better for you. Breathing into the belly, breathing out. Full inhale, full exhale. Feel free to stay here for a little while longer or bend the knees and place the feet to the floor. And then just extend the legs, extend the arms, take up some space. Let the palms float to the sky. Roll the shoulders away from the ears. Let them go down the back. Let the eyes start to close either completely or just finding that soft gaze to the ceiling. Really tune in to the feeling in the body. Tune into the breath, finding its ease, its groove. Might need a little extra help, so you can welcome a couple of mindful breaths, really focusing on lengthening the exhale. And just let the breath be and just be its witness. Allowing the body to receive Shavasana. You need to just invite awareness and notice your body, notice how you feel. Scanning from the toes to the top of the head. Letting that awareness begin to expand into your space. You take in sound, smell, sensation. And welcoming a fuller breath, allowing the inhale to grow deep, the exhale become complete. Knowing that the energy rides the breath. What is it that you want to bring in this very moment? When you feel ready, start to bring the body into the here and now.
a little stretching. So let it be organic, whatever comes to you. Eventually, you'll stretch yourself into a ball, fold over to one side. When you get there, just let the head be supported by the bottom arm. A mindful breath into the back of the heart. Allow your exhale to release you into Mother Earth's arms. Gently using the top arm, and to press yourself all the way up to a seated posture. Stay connected inward. Don't worry about what direction you land in. Find your easy seat. Lengthen up through the spine. The crown of the head lift. And mindfully pull the shoulders back just a little bit so the heart can shine forward. A nice full breath here. Just feeling into this moment. Your palms together in front of heart center. We close our practice together with a cleansing breath. Please feel free to join in. Big inhale. Big exhale. We bow down to the wisdom that lives within. Not just myself, not just you, but to all of us. Really connecting to that heart space where we all are one. Namaste. Thank you, everybody. Have a beautiful day.